I'm Jefferson Molanyo Agbai. I'm currently the executive director of Cyrus, and I've been running Cyrus for the past 10 years.
What motivated you to start Cyrus Microcredit?
I mean, there were many motivations to starting an enterprise, particularly for someone like me who has been a serial entrepreneur over the years. I think I enjoy the passion of startups. I have the passion for change and transformation in society, and so these kinds of values drive anything I do. But again, if we look at the mission of Cyrus and why Cyrus, 10 years ago, in fact, I looked at the fact that many people within the financial services sector were not being served. For instance, we have a large customer segment of people at the bottom of the economic pyramid who, for one way or the other, were not being served by the mainstream financial institutions. And if we want to be able to move our society along, there has to be inclusivity. And I felt that I needed to do something about it. And that was what motivated me to set up Cyrus. So Cyrus was just a response to the challenges and the problems that people felt around me, particularly when I go to the market with my wife or I talk to people who are into small businesses. The main thing they talk about is finance. They talk about record keeping. They talk about how do they move their trade from just being a mom and pop shop to becoming a successful business? For instance, how do I move away from becoming an entrepreneur to becoming somebody who owns multiple businesses or growing and making profits and employing more people? And those were the kind of things that inspired me to begin to look at ways in which I could also contribute to bring about change and transformation in my society.
Why did you choose the name Cyrus?
So the name of an organization actually is in many ways a brand mark. It represents the future promise of the organization because it's intimately integrated into the brand of the organization. Due to my Christian background, we took this name from Isaiah 45, chapter 1, where the prophet Isaiah was prophesying about a Persian king, a Persian ruler who will bring about the deliverance of God's people from captivity. And as I read about the birth of Cyrus was prophesied 150, even over 300 years before he was born. And for a Persian ruler who also at the time was a Gentile, but God found a way to actually use this person to bring about transformation was quite mind blowing. And so for us, Cyrus actually represents economic renaissance, the modern representation of what we find in ancient Persian empire. And we believe that given that Cyrus represents the highest value of ethical and moral values, we can begin to lead a new revolution in terms of how do we do business, in terms of how do we do business that impacts people, that brings about social good, social impact in our community, but not just business as usual. And these were some of the reasons that motivated us to adopt the name Cyrus. And so Cyrus is renaissance, economic renaissance, to lift people from economic doldrums and to lift people out of poverty.
What is the mission of Cyrus Microcredit?
So the mission of Cyrus Microcredit is encapsulated in one line, which is to provide affordable microcredit to low income people and thereby improve lives and reduce poverty. So our focus is on low income people. So these are people who don't have access to financial services. So when we go to a community, one criteria we look at is areas where the penetration of financial services is not up to 50%. Places where the income level of people is about $2 a day. So these are the kinds of, should I say, attributes that define where we operate and how we do our business.
What were some of the challenges you faced during and after the establishment of Cyrus?
I would say that for any new business or for any startup or an entrepreneur, there are a number of challenges you face, and I think chief among them is finance, access to capital, because you are trying to do something that you have not proven yet, that you don't have the traction, that you don't have the mastery. So you need people to be able to trust you and to give you money. And for us, we face our own share of that. But then down the lane, you begin to realize that you need systems. You need to hire the right people. You need to employ the right strategy to be able to sustain, be able to lead a business into not just becoming something that is just driven by passion, but something that is driven by systems and organizational plans and strategies. And again, but I would say that the biggest challenge I faced from the beginning was trust, because how will we trust you? For instance, if you go to a community and you want to work with them, they don't know you. They are not from that community, so they don't trust you. They don't feel that they can keep their money to you. They can keep their money with you. They don't feel that you are even coming to do them good. Sometimes they look at you very skeptical, and they sometimes will think, okay, so this man is coming, maybe he's coming to give us money for rituals. And so that kind of trust is the kind of thing you need to overcome. And you have to overcome that at all levels, not just with your investors, but with different diverse group of stakeholders, including your customers.
How did Cyrus look in the beginning, and tell us some of your humble beginnings?
Our operation was quite small, was a lean operation from the beginning. We employed just two people at a time. It was difficult sometimes to even have money to disburse loans. It was sometimes difficult to even have money to pay salaries. It was sometimes very disheartening and discouraging. But if you have a burning fire in you, if you have the passion in you to overcome, you will keep going. You will not stop. Sometimes you even come to the office and you don't even know what what you should do there on that day. And many of the things that you have to overcome, or many of the things that we did, are not things written in textbooks. For instance, how do you deal with a scenario whereby you came to the office in the morning and you found five five fresh eggs in a bowl at your door? Those are things you don't learn in business school. So you begin to understand that, well, it's not just about what we see, but there's also the supernatural dimension of things. And I believe that our knowledge and understanding of some of these things is what has brought us this far. To move away from a business that started with just two people, didn't have curtains, didn't even have a burglar proof, just one computer, two staff who were not were even wondering what they saw in the vision to even leave the organization to come and join us, to what it is today. And I believe that hard work and dedication is what has also accounted for where we are.
How is the work of Cyrus Microfinance affecting the development of Ghana? How is the work of Cyrus Microfinance affecting the development of Ghana?
So today, when we look at the indicators, economic indicators, we are seeing that yes, we see some change in our economic growth. We see that there's been expansion in output. But again, the main questions that economists at the IMF and World Bank will be more pondering about is whether the growth is broad based and whether there's shared prosperity. Because you find out that whilst we keep seeing growth in the GDP, poverty is also worsening at the same time. And so the point here is the growth, where is the growth taking place? And whether we are lifting people out of poverty, who actually should be the ones we should be lifting out of poverty. And so these are some of the questions that drive the work we do, to make sure that we are working in a way that will bring about transformation in the lives of people. That brings about reduction in poverty, but not reduction in poverty as we say, but real change, which is actually tangible and can be felt and can be seen in the lives of people. And that is the mission that drives Cyrus. And so I believe that with the work we are doing, we are contributing to this kind of impact, to leverage the power of capital, to leverage the power of social good, to bring about transformation in our society. And that is what we believe is our mission. And that is what we believe is the contribution we are making to this country and to this economy. And so we are not going to see big leaps, big changes overnight. But we believe that the baby steps and the little changes we seeing will move the impact from becoming just a tree to becoming a forest. And that is what we want to do with this organization.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.